Hello everybody, this is Everyday Taipei, and today we are going to Zongshan Park. So just to show where it is in relation to everything, this is Taipei 101 is over here, Shilin Night Market is here, Taipei Main Station is here. Where we're going is on the red line, close to Taipei Main Station, up one station. At the Zhongshan Station, we're going to get off at exit number 1. There's a park connecting the two stations, so we're just going to walk through the park and end at the Shuanglian Station. It's a pretty cool place. Let's check it out. Okay, so this is exit number 4. This is where we're going to be exiting out of. This is a newly renovated park. It's really relatively new. I'd say in the last year. Maybe it got released in 2020. It's decorated for Christmas right now, so it looks extra special. As you can see with the tree in the center. I came here on Sunday, I believe. And so there was a market out here as well. Something that's really confusing to a lot of foreigners is that there is a Zongshan and a Zhongshan station. One spelled with an S and one is spelled with a Z. Zongshan. And this is spelled with a Z. It's closer to Taipei Main Station. The other one's closer to Taipei 101. So the vibe out here was really great. It's starting to get really chilly now, so everybody is not dying of heat. So you enter this little courtyard area, which usually has somebody playing. A saxophone player right now, and you can usually find a seat on these seats. If you know me, what I usually do, this is my go-to thing. I usually get milk tea from somewhere. There's usually somebody playing in this courtyard, some kind of musical instrument, and I come and I sit down here. That's like the cheap option. As you can see, there's a lot of other people sitting down. It's a great place to like get kind of above the ground view of the whole park, and you can kind of like chill out and just take in all the vibes. It's also a pretty good photo opportunity area. Like as you can see, that girl was just taking a photo. This dude, I think they were taking like a TikTok or something because they were dancing. And then it kind of like terminates at this weird kind of end. It's kind of a weird end, but it overlooks the street. I think across the street in that building there's like it's either a Din Tai Fung or a Chun Shui Tong. I think it's a Chun Shui Tong. And so you can eat there if you want to. There's just department stores all on that street there, on this particular block. And so I told you in another video that all of the food is in the basement. And so you just go down there and you can check them all out. They have a ton of food there. And on either side of this park, as you can see. But this is kind of a special park. A lot of the places, there's a lot of parks in Taipei, little ones, and this is kind of the first one with kind of a more modern feel to it. And so I think it's a pretty big success story for them because it's driven a lot of traffic here. It's a cool spot. There's a lot of shopping, a lot of cafes, and so like a lot of young people come here too. And so it's a really lively place. And I think it's because they renovated this park and because it's a great public space that makes it like everybody wants to come here now. It was cool before too, but definitely you see the saxophone player there, everybody standing around. But it definitely added to it for sure. Yeah. So you see, these are what the kiosks like. I talk about these like in almost every single video, like in all of my creative parks, Huashan, Zongshan creative parks. I always say, oh, there's usually like a market here. I don't know why there's not a market here. It's a weekend. Like these are the same type of stalls that you'll see there as well. And so it's kind of interesting. I like it. There's like a lot of maker stuff. Not particularly geared towards me, but it's still pretty cool. Right now there's a lot of lights set up too, so at night this place is pretty cool. A lot of places actually right now have been doing it. I think it's pushed by the city. If you see this place, Classic C, I did this on purpose because this place is really popular right now. It's just a combo of like a tea place and eye-frame store, eyeglasses. You can buy glasses there. And so Yeah, and there's always a bunch of people. They also used to have accessories there for like ladies and stuff, but Reese, it used to be listed there, but now they only list glasses and boba. But I don't know, maybe that part wasn't as successful, so they stopped. If you go anywhere to either side of this park, you'll have a bunch of like boutique stores and cafes as well. I'm gonna make another video about it. Kind of to the left of it has like this really cool old town type of feel, and you'll see it in that video. It's really cool. The great thing about this area too is like there's a lot of public seating, as you can see. Like a bunch of people are just hanging out, and so it's kind of nice, especially in Taipei when like all of the sidewalks are super small and sometimes they don't really make a lot of room for public seating. It's nice that you can be able to like sit, and you have a lot of different options to sit. Like people are not fighting over this kind of stuff here. And so that's really, really nice. The route I took through this park is kind of, I really didn't think about it. It's just the way, the natural flow I thought it would go. But sometimes it makes like weird, I make like weird little turns there, so I don't know. Like it was kind of nice. This little wall was set up as a photo opportunity, so there was a bunch of people taking photos here. The funny thing is like below this station, there's actually an underground market or like underground mall area. So during the summer, if it gets too hot to be outside for too long, you can actually walk to these stations like underground. Underneath this park there's like a corridor with a bunch of shops on it too. Yeah, it's so you don't have to be in the sun so much. Still some more shops. This is a cool open space, usually a lot of seating and a lot of trees. As you can see, like that park kind of area kind of ends and squeezes into this little hallway area and into this overlooking this cafe, which seemed to be really popular for people taking photos. It is really cute. So if you go into that way, in the other video I kind of start here and I go left and over one block and I just walk up, and there's a bunch of cool cafes. Like if you're into like coffee and stuff, there's a bunch of good coffee. There's like an okonomiyaki place. You'll see it. It's really cool. Really trendy stuff. This part's a little bit awkward. It kind of like goes from that courtyard area into this small little thing into like this area. I'm not too sure what they're doing with it. I think it's kind of almost the end of their market area. There's a few more stores here, but that's pretty much the end of the market. So there was a few to the right. I didn't really show it as well. But then these are kind of the end of it. So this particular portion I feel is like the spiritual end of this park. Sounds kind of weird to say because we're not quite at the end of we're not approaching the MRT just yet, but there's this bridge here which is really interesting. Every time I come here I usually don't ever get this far. I usually go into the streets, into the side streets for something. And so like to me this part feels like a new part. Like once you get to this bridge, it's kind of like a different park to me. But the interesting thing they did for the holiday season is that they decked it out with all of these lights, and I thought it would be amazing at night. I was kind of kicking myself like this would have been great at night, I should have came. And so like I kind of stuck around to see it, and you'll see it in a few seconds once I get to the end of here. But I was able to get it at night. That girl was just running to get that photo. That was really funny. But yeah, you'll see it, and I'll show it to you in just a few seconds what it looks like at night. Here you go. So I think I'm walking the opposite way, coming back, and so a bunch of people taking pictures, but it looks pretty cool. Like I said before, I think the city made a big push. I'm not too sure if they did it last year, but this year, a couple of the parks are decked out like crazy. This one had a bunch of lights out. It looked amazing. If you saw the Christmas market, a bunch of those public spaces weren't a part of the Christmas market, and they were still decked out in crazy lights. A park near me in Dongmen, I have a video on it where I told you guys to get a boba and sit. That place also is decked out in lights and it looks amazing. So yeah, it's actually a pretty special time here. Feels a little bit more Christmassy than I thought it would, because as I said in that Christmas market video, like, it's not traditionally a big family thing for the most part. And so we kind of made it over the bridge, and you can tell there's not as many people on this side. There's not as much things going on. It doesn't feel the same as when you get on the other side of the bridge. On the other side of the bridge, there's all these trendy shops and like a lot of people. And then you get over here and there is still a lot of shops and a lot of cafes and stuff, but to me, the vibe isn't the same, maybe just because there's not as many people. But yeah, I hardly make it to this area, but it looks just as nice, I feel like. I'm not too sure what this walkway thing is doing here. You kind of just go up and you go around. It's kind of cool, and it creates like a bunch of public seating area there. But yeah, I'm not too sure if everybody else feels the same way about the two parks, like being two separate areas. Yeah, it just seems like to me, you walk through that section of the park and then you go shop or you go to a cafe, and then you go back to that same station. Yeah, you're not normally walking to the other station unless there's a particular reason you want to do it. But yeah, there's this big courtyard area, which is pretty cool. And then, as you can see by the exit number 1 sign in the upper left hand corner there, we're approaching the exit to the next station, Shuanglian. Shuanglian. I'm not too sure if I'm saying that right. This area is a little bit older, and as you can see, they didn't renovate the other half of that park, so maybe they'll do that later. But this is the end. It's a really cool park. One of my favorite in Taipei, I'd say. It's not too big, very cool looking, lots of public seating, so I like it a lot. I highly recommend it. But yeah, that's all I have for this video. If you have any suggestions, leave it in the comments down below. Other than that, I'll be seeing you.